A Walkman in today's world? Surprisingly, yes. Sony continues to lead the way when it comes to retro audio formats, including its legendary cassette players. And with CD sales making a comeback, it's clear that physical media isn't dead yet. The Walkman, too, lives on, reimagined for the modern era and still carrying the legacy of personal audio into the 21st century. In this video, we're going to dive into how the Walkman is making a major comeback and why so many people are embracing this retro tech. Imagine a time when listening to music meant carrying around a bulky boombox, or being stuck in one spot while the radio played out loud. Sounds pretty old school, right? Well, that all changed in 1979 when Sony introduced the Walkman. With the TPSL-2, suddenly, music wasn't just a public experience, it was personal and portable. You could take your tunes wherever you went, and just like that, music was transformed forever. Initially, sales were slow, but once Sony put the device directly into journalists' hands, allowing them to experience the revolutionary concept firsthand, demand exploded. By the second month of release, Sony had sold all 30,000 units they'd produced. The ability to hear music clearly through headphones while on the move was nothing short of revolutionary in 1979. This innovation sparked the entire portable music ecosystem we take for granted today, from iPods to streaming services on our smartphones. The Walkman's initial success wasn't without controversy. Some communities were concerned about the Walkman effect, the idea that portable music players caused people to isolate themselves and become antisocial. One New Jersey town even banned the device, believing it caused accidents. Sony briefly attempted to counter this by adding a hotline feature with 2 headphone jacks to encourage social listening, but ultimately the personal nature of the listening experience prevailed. The Sony Walkman profoundly reshaped public spaces and social interactions by introducing the concept of personal, portable soundscapes. This shift, which musicologist Shuhei Hosokawa called the Walkman effect, allowed people to turn everyday activities into something more exciting or cinematic. Whether commuting, walking, or just hanging out, the Walkman gave users control over the sounds that surrounded them, turning the ordinary into something more personal and meaningful. But while many embraced this new sense of freedom, not everyone was a fan. Some critics argued that the Walkman led to isolation, making people shut out the world around them and focus only on their own soundtrack. Despite the criticisms, the Walkman ultimately had a lasting effect on how we navigate public spaces today. It gave people the confidence to control their environment, a sense of independence that's now a normal part of modern life. The freedom to choose our own soundtrack, whether on a Walkman or through our smartphones, has become a standard expectation, and it's something that continues to shape how we experience the world around us. The Walkman is making a nostalgic return, bringing retro vibes to the modern world. Even if Gen Z didn't grow up with the original Walkman, they're still drawn to it through pop culture. Movies and TV shows have kept the Walkman alive, showing how iconic and nostalgic it is. It's a symbol of personal style and music passion, often tied to specific memories. For younger generations, the Walkman represents more than just an old music player that gives a kind of vintage vibe. It's about the experience of listening to music in a more focused, personal way, away from the distractions of smartphones. People create playlists on Walkmans to show who they are, and that connection to music is timeless. So, while the tech may be old, its place in pop culture is still strong, and Sony's new NWA306 is a way for people to reconnect with that feeling. Whether you're nostalgic for the past or just want to feel a little more like a character in your favorite show, the Walkman's retro comeback is definitely part of the moment. The Sony Walkman became a symbol of personal freedom in music and still shows up in movies, shows, and music videos, keeping its nostalgic charm alive for people of all ages. One of the most memorable moments was in the movie Guardians of the Galaxy, where the Walkman is an important part of the story. This helped bring the device back into the spotlight, especially for younger people who didn't grow up with it. The Walkman's influence is also felt in Japan, where it's featured in anime like The Girl in Twilight. In this series, the Walkman, specifically the WM-30 model, is a key part of the protagonist's transformation, showing just how timeless and meaningful it still is. Even in music, the Walkman hasn't been forgotten. A music video by the band She Is Summer shows off the Sony WMF-73, reminding us of how cool and iconic the device remains. When Stranger Things Season 4 dropped, there was one scene that really caught everyone's attention. Max listening to Kate Bush's 1985 hit, Running Up That Hill, on her Walkman. It instantly became iconic and brought back a flood of nostalgia for fans everywhere. Not only did Kate Bush's song hit 1 billion streams, but it also increased the demand for Walkman. These appearances in movies, shows, and videos show how the Walkman's cultural impact still connects people across generations and how it changed the way we listen to music on the go. Suddenly, these old-school music players were back in the spotlight, reminding people of the fun of cassette tapes and mixing retro vibes with today's culture. Perhaps the most fascinating aspect of the Walkman revival is how it reflects changing attitudes toward technology. Many younger consumers, particularly Gen Z, are feeling overwhelmed by today's always connected technology landscape, to the point where some are rejecting smartphones altogether. Old-school tech like the Walkman is becoming popular again because it offers a more intentional, focused way to use technology. Imagine listening to music on a Walkman while riding a train. You can really enjoy both the music and the journey without being distracted by endless notifications or social media. It's a refreshing change from how we often use music on our phones as just background noise while we scroll through feeds. And it's not just about music players. More companies are noticing that people want simpler, single-purpose devices. That's why we're seeing things like smartphones that look like old flip phones or Bluetooth keyboards that give off that typewriter vibe. These products are all about making technology work for us, not overwhelm us. So that's why the Walkman is making a comeback. It's all about slowing down and enjoying the moment. What do you think? Would you give it a try? Let us know in the comments below. If you liked this video, hit that like button, share it with your friends, and don't forget to subscribe for more. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next one.